Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Women's Wisdom Circle. I don't know which number of this circle it is, but we have started doing those hangouts, I believe, in March or in April. And we've been going and talking, at least some of you have been present regularly and consistently, like Harriet, for example, and Fiona regularly joined us also. And we are welcoming Liz this morning, who is joining us for the very first time. So welcome, Liz, from Finland. And we have Viviane also present from California, and Fiona in the UK, in Wales. And oh, I'm just seeing a little message that Elizabeth from Hawaii is joining us. Hello, good evening, Elizabeth. For you, it's evening. And could you mute yourself, because when one is talking, we are attempting now to create a better quality for the audience. You know, when people are listening. I know that there is also Kadira. I want to include her in California that is listening via YouTube because her computer does not enable listening to online. So, okay, I'm going to mute you, Elizabeth, because and Bridget is joining us. Okay, I'm going to mute. Hello, Bridget.
Hey, Arlene. Hello, everybody.
Yes, hello. New Zealand. Hello. Lovely. I'm really liking this. A lot of people showing up today. Okay. And I'm going to mute you also because I want to just talk about a few things, and then we are starting our conversation. Okay. Let me just do a small centering connection exercise, because this is always very helpful when we do this, so that I don't completely get lost in my head, because that's been the journey we have been on, how to connect to that heart center and stay connected and grounded in our divine feminine, in that feminine quality which is heart-based. And it's so easy to get lost in the head. So we usually start our hangouts with a small grounding meditation. So if you would just for a few moments, close your eyes and taking a few deep breaths together, you know, like through the breath, enabling that connection to that heart center, getting grounded. Just a deep breath in and a full breath out. And one more. Full breath out. And with the next breath out, just allow that connection to the larger field of life, perhaps using your physical body and your grounding to the earth, to the feet, to connect to the earth. Imagine a pair of grounding roots connecting your feet, virtual roots, connecting you to the center of the earth. And allowing that energy from the earth through the breath to move into the body, fill your body, helping you get grounded, connected, centered. And just taking a moment to experience that body fully grounded and connected. And with the next breath, with your out breath, just allow that connection to the other forces that we are constantly surrounded by, which is the cosmic forces, the cosmic energies. And imagine our connection to the larger field of life, perhaps by imagining a ray of light shining on top of your head, shining down onto you. And imagine that ray of light connecting through your body. Just imagine like a central column of light connecting the larger field of life, the celestial realms, to the earth, and feeling that connection. Because we are part of that earth, but we're also part of that universe. And we are constantly guided and informed by what is happening around us through our connections, energetic connections. Just taking a moment to create that connection. And then imagine those streams of energy meeting in your heart. Just taking a moment to connect with your heart and with what is emerging for you in that circle, that virtual circle all around the world, that connected in real time. And imagine a circle of energy forming amongst us. You could even have an image of holding of virtual hands, sending energies to the right hand and receiving energy to the left hand. Just create that connection for a moment. And as we are starting our conversation, I just want to take a moment to remind whoever might be watching later on what we have been engaged in for the last 30 days. Most of the ones present today have been actively engaged in a 30-day challenge towards making self-care primary in our life. And as I've witnessed on the Facebook group, a lot of healing happening through that circle for the ones engaged in the process actively. And today is, in a way, a final call for that period of that challenge so that we can report on what has transpired for each of us and also explore how to move forward from that space we have begun to create together, how we can use those connections to step into the next phase for self-care and modeling that for other people in our community and eventually for people in the world. We're just taking a moment now, perhaps another deep breath, to reconnect to wherever you are sitting in your respective location around the world. Taking another deep breath and coming back to your body again, reconnecting to your physical body sitting in that physical location. And another deep breath, coming back to normal consciousness at your own pace, and whenever you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes and be back in our circle. I would like to start by sharing perhaps my own experience of what this 30-day challenge has enabled me to heal, because it has been a healing journey for me to do this. You know, first of all, to post daily and to move through the field of doing this, you know, first feeling very choked by what I had taken on, the commitment I had taken on, and then relaxing into it and really deepening into doing the work myself on whatever needed to shift for myself. And what I've observed is I've had a lifelong pattern of being a loner and doing things all by myself and figuring out everything's on my own. And what has started to emerge in those conversations that we have been having for the last few months is an emergence of a collaborated effort where we have created a field of healing where what is happening for one can have an impact for the other one. That's at least what it was for me. And what I have observed is like a healing of a self-abandonment pattern that has been going on for a long time, where now I am moving forward, maybe not even knowing exactly how I'm going to move forward, but nevertheless taking the steps and not always second-guessing myself and stopping myself. And before I invite you to share whatever has transpired for each of you, I would like to put that in the context of a call that I've heard a couple of days ago, and perhaps some of you have listened to that call. It was a call with Barbara Max Hubbard, where she was introducing her next course. I think it's Conscious Evolution 3.0, and what she was telling the people, the audience, you know, eventually joining her course, is that we need to come together as souls, from our soul purpose, and not from that outdated model, which is the mind only, and the way things used to be, you know. So it was really beautifully said, and Barbara has such a poetic way of talking, you know. She was talking about fusing our geniuses together, and that happens when you allow our essence, which is really that where our purpose resides, you know. Our purpose resides in our essential self, each of us. And when we allow the essential self to speak through us, rather than the mind and all the ways we have traditionally functioned, there is a whole different space that gets created, and there is a whole different possibility. There's actually an immense possibility that is opening up. So that is one thing. And then there is another something I've listened to, I think, a couple of days ago also. That day was a truly inspirational day. I was also listening to Marcia Wider, and on her dreaming course, and she was talking about purpose again. And then I suddenly got it, you know, that I had made my purpose kind of very complicated. And really my purpose is about to be in truth and to allow my truth to come through. And the other program that I've listened to, and I think it is relevant to also what we are attempting to bring forward, you know, in this group, in this community, is a video from Brian Wetton, where he was talking about the many struggles and challenges we have all experienced, and I know each of us has experienced that because I've talked to you, is how to bring, you know, the transformation that we all bring and facilitate. We are all facilitators of transformation. And how do you bring this out in a world that is still functioning in the traditional model where, you know, the way business is done is to kind of well, consume something, buy this something, and you'll feel better, you know, when really the business we are in, each of us, you know, is a transformation business, which is a business where we help people face the most difficult challenges they might have and allow them to emerge the dreams of what is possible when they face those difficult things that have blocked them and stopped them. And we, of course, had to do the work ourselves. And all of us, you know, we've been on that journey. For most of you, I know it, you know, for most of our lives. We have done the healing, we've done the work, and now we have to dare emerge our voices and our messages so that we can bring that our geniuses, our soul purposes together to enable more people to do that work in a way that is not threatening but empowering. So that's what I wanted to kind of bring to the introduction, and I really would love to hear what transpires for each of you based on what I have to say, and I would like to also hear what has transpired for you for this doing that 30-day challenge, that radical self-care challenge that we are completing. We have completed a couple of days ago. So who would like to go first? Just kind of raise your hand and unmute yourself, since you're unmuted.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I just felt so strong resonance, Aline, what you were saying about us connecting from the soul purpose level and releasing our geniuses together. And I must say now, I experienced that process now with this Norwegian man who flew into Helsinki 2 weeks ago, and we are in the midst of that process. And without this radical self-care process, what we have been doing, I would not have been able to really embrace this gift, because it is a huge gift to be in that co-creative field where the soul purposes are resonating and our joint voice is like creating a much bigger impact. But we have to really go through it to see that I can be strongly in my own truth and nothing but my own truth. And this is the real interesting thing now, that, for example, how we women, this is what I have explored, we start to carry others' pain, we start to, you know, and so that everyone in a way in this transformation, we all have to face our pain, and it has been a beautiful healing field in our group, Aline, really beautiful. Yeah, it's just like a precious gift for all of us. And now in practice, I mean, every time when you see that a shift has happened and you see that the way you are practicing it in your encounters in your work, there you see the results. And I can see the results now very, very strongly. And I'm so deeply grateful for this, what we have done together here during these 30 days and also earlier on. And this work is really, really needed to do this transformation and a kind of a up-leveling of our working together with a new consciousness.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and I just like to underline what you have brought out. You know, it's like the co-creative field. It is a resonant field that we are co-creating. It is not something that one can do alone. You have to be at least 2 people to create that field. And just remembering one other thing that I heard Barbara say is like, when you create those evolutionary pods, she was talking about an evolutionary pod where you create those resonant fields. Eventually, if you have enough of those pods created, you create a morphogenetic field. And you all know that. I suppose I don't have to educate you on morphogenetic fields, but a morphogenetic field, when that gets created, that means the capacity that gets created in the field is then available for everybody. And that's really what we want. That is the shift that we are looking for. I know each of us has at heart, you know, world transformation. And it has to happen through people who have done the work and helping other people accelerate that work to shift from those limiting structures that create suffering and pain that we've all struggled with for the longest of time. It's time to step into something, and it can only be done when we are in community. That's really what I am really learning loud and clear, and no longer thinking that I can do this in isolation. That is total illusion. It's not possible. We are never isolated from anybody, ever.
Thank you, Aline. That was very clearly said. Very clear. I can hear your strength in this while you are talking.
Thank you. Who wants to speak next? This is not me doing a monologue here. It's a conversation, an evolutionary conversation. Bridget. Unmute yourself, Bridget.
I really no.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, that's great. So, from my perspective, I just wanted to acknowledge what I see as a blooming, as a blossoming of the women that I see now in front of me, of the faces, and the language, the way we're able to speak, and the simple joy in the faces has changed massively in this last little time. I see it, and I see it in your eyes, and I hear it in your voice, Aline, and in your voice, Harriet. We are now different than we were, and so I wanted to say that because it gives me such joy to see it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And would you like to speak to how this challenge has helped you with your own challenges, if you want to include that in...
I think the challenge has allowed me to honor myself, recognize who I am being in the world, and yes, I use that word, honor myself, but really recognize. And I was sitting with my 92-year-old mother this morning on her 92nd birthday and talking with her about this and sharing that my purpose, I can see now, if I look back over my life, I can see that my purpose slowly over the years has become clearer and clearer and clearer. My soul purpose, and I'm really conscious now of it, and conscious that it is to help others be the best they can be. I am here to help others evolve in their consciousness, and it started, a long time ago in a different sort of modality, if you like, and it's now evolving to this place and of really being aware of it. And so, yeah, so this month has just brought that to into sharp focus, I think, for me. And the other thing that it's brought into sharp focus is that my life is a success. My life is a success. And
celebration!
Celebration. I mean, I always thought that my life wasn't quite successful in some way, and I just over this last month of just doing my meditations and sitting and being with myself, I realized that my life couldn't actually be more successful than it is. It's perfect as it is. So yeah, that's my month for me.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, shifting our perspective, right? Sometimes that's all it takes.
Mm. Mm. So it's
Right?
been wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
right. And looking at all the things that are still not whole, let's see what works and what is already working and whole, you know?
Yes. Yes. Let's work with what is and build what we build the world we want to live in daily
Yes.
by our thoughts, our voices, our words, and every choice that we make. Mm.
Yes. It starts with each of us,
Mm.
not delegating the responsibility to politicians or guys next door, you know, like so many people pass the buck. No, it's
Mm.
time to step up. You know, that's loud and clear for me. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And thank you, Bridget. So I want to hear from everybody, and perhaps what we can also do is share your suggestions on what's next, how we move forward with the Facebook group, you know. Perhaps I know Kadira is watching, and I just want to bring one of her propositions. She has, she would like to post in our Facebook group exercises from a book that she has been reading, which is called Extreme Self-Care. And that would be welcome for me because right now I need to kind of shift my focus to packing because we are moving in about 6 weeks from this country. So I will not maybe be focused that much on Facebook. So it would be welcome if somebody kind of helped in that process. And Kadira has offered, if you are in agreement to do this, you know, I will let her post in the group, and then we'll see again. You know, it's like this is not once and for all. We can see how things evolve again because I now that I have really totally shifted my loner attitude, you know, this will continue. I mean, this is just the beginning, you know, and so we will keep on talking. You know, I can do hangouts every week or every 2 weeks, depending on what we agree upon. You know, that is doable. That's not too much of an effort, and as long as I have internet and the computer, we can do that. So just think about how you would like to move forward. You know. And I'm inviting the next person to speak, whoever that will be. Just raise your hand and unmute yourself and come in.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here with all of you women. Do you know, you realize there are 8 of us? That's the sign of infinity. And, Extreme Self-Care by Cheryl Richardson, I believe, is the book you're talking about. You know, I've been in a process of extreme self-care for 36 years now. In my meditation practice, which I started 36 years ago, and have been finding that my way of becoming who I am has been different from how others are being, even in the same group of meditators, which happens to be a Buddhist group of meditators. And that when we converse together, which happened this morning here in Palmdale, I felt very alienated. I felt as though I didn't really, that my conscious conversation is so different from the ones that they engage in, which has to do with, oh, everything's fine, the world is great, and, you know, just sloughing it off to being happy, in quotation marks. So I left feeling a sense of isolation. And I regrouped myself in doing the meditation on my own and found that it's so much more powerful for me when I do that, because then I just am able to redistribute energies around me that I gather when I'm around other people, which are not necessarily the best for me. So to let it go, to let those energies go, and to allow myself to be fully engaged in this vertical energy, you know, with my source and with other co-creators. And that's what's most important to me. So one of the fundamental things that I've gone back to for myself is to express my feelings rather than my thoughts. Because I used to be such an intellect that my thoughts were always more important than my feelings. And also, I was born and grew up in a part of the world where it was dangerous to show your feelings and emotions. You could be killed just like that. So I had to sublimate those feelings and not allow others to know what I was feeling. So now, becoming aware of the fact that when I am vulnerable to others, that it is not a shameful thing, and that if others shame me because of my expressed vulnerability, then it's not for me to take that on. And that has that has taken me a while to accept and to feel good about myself. That not everyone will understand when I say, when you and I were conversing last time, and I felt a knot in my stomach, and I felt that what we were talking about was very different, and I am taking responsibility for my feelings and expressing them, and it may not resonate with the other person, and they may not even want to discuss that. So it's okay. It's still okay.
Absolutely, you know, and that is such a powerful thing that you are sharing, Viviane. What I'm hearing, at least, well, many things, you know, but if I want to summarize, and it's, first of all, not all resonant fields are, you know, healing fields, you know, and learning to trust our own feelings, to know which resonant field do I want to vibrate with for now, you know, this could change, you know, is one very powerful information. The field energy of your body is telling you. And then not to take things personally. That is such a lifelong journey also, you know. If somebody says, makes a comment, and that comment hooks you, it's learning, for me at least, that is learning now to be grateful for the awareness that is being brought to my attention of what I still need to heal in myself. Because if I have healed that thing in myself, I cannot get triggered by that. So it's like using it with gratitude to do the next kind of work that I have to do on myself to bring myself a little bit more whole, you know. And so thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Very powerful, Viviane. Thank you. And who would like to go next? Elizabeth? You need to unmute yourself, Elizabeth. I've muted you, you know, and you have to go up and click on the microphone and put unmute. Put your mouse up on the top of the.
I did.
Yes.
Thank you.
Got it. Great.
I would just like to confirm that the light coming out of your faces is extraordinary. So I think that might have, Harriet, might have been you who first mentioned it, but I definitely see it. So, and it is coming from that inner light of self-care.
Yes.
And so it's been very fun for me to watch the Facebook a little bit and hear you all speak now, because I've been doing this for many years. And the parallel to what you've been experiencing, I did my webinars, which actually is using the same words that I've heard many of you say. So I think there is a core understanding of self-care. And what I talked about that I'm hearing you talk about also is that shift in perspective. And it's the very most important key piece, that when we go around and talk about it to other people, to keep it like really, really simple, is once you make that shift in consciousness to honor yourself and commit to taking care of yourself, then everything shifts, literally. Your entire life, your family, your business, everything shifts. So I think if there's like one kernel we can take out from here as our group, as we go out and talk to people, it's that. And there's nothing to say, because as people are around us, they'll entrain to that level of vibration. So we just have to live it.
That's right.
So I would suggest that the purpose of life is to live it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The whole purpose of our lives is to live it, enjoy it, and be. And as we do that, then other people will start to come around and entrain to that and start to enjoy their lives more. So it's quite remarkable.
Yes.
I just thank everyone for being a part of this, and just encourage everyone, to stay with it, and rather than see it as a 30-day challenge, just see it as the practice for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, and what comes up for me, Elizabeth, when I hear you is like and I'm sure you have been on that journey yourself for a good part of your life. I mean, this is certainly not the first time that I learned to take care of my needs and I express them. But coming to do it in a group where we are focusing on that, and see that the few tweaks that we needed to make can be empowered, because the group energies and also the energies around us right now, because we are also in that very different energies than some 40 years ago when my journey started, and Vivian, you talked meditator for 36 years, I can probably vouch for the same amount myself. And all the trainings in terms of counseling training and all that about how to take care of my needs and all that, I know everything from the head, okay? Everything I have even practiced at various degrees, and I have handled many, many things. But it's the journey then to actually do it and not give up at the first hurdle. It's the understanding that the transformational journey will lead to all those places. But sometimes when you are in the trenches, it's hard. And that needs to be spoken to also. And we need to be able to hold that too. Because if we say, well, everything is nice and fine, and the person who hears that doesn't resonate to that because they still have a lot of healing to do, well, that won't work either. So I think we need to talk about the process and what is possible when you do the process, to encourage more people to take that journey of healing. That's what emerges for me, Otherwise it becomes everything is just fine, yes, and there's nothing to do, there's nothing to work on. That is not my truth. That is not my reality. Yes, taking care of myself and learning to do the healing will bring me to that space, absolutely. And it has consistently consistently. And sometimes we have areas that we need to have some support in to clean up, you know, the cleaning up process of life. Yeah, Bridget says the purpose of life is a life of purpose lived on purpose.
Nice.
Beautiful. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you. Fiona, do you want to chime in?
Yeah. Unmute. There we go. Yeah, I just feel really blessed to be in this group, and the fact that you're sharing this, you know, deep wisdom and knowledge. What I've been feeling over the weekend was just like a physical pain because I wasn't in my truth, and I realized I have to trust myself and not wait until people are back out of my life doing their thing. I think I find like when I'm in my own space and I'm connected to the divine energies, I'm doing the work that I'm here to do, it's wonderful. But when I'm with probably like Vivian was sharing so eloquently, when I'm in the different energies, particularly with my husband, I just feel I'm picking up different negativities, and then I realise as well what Elizabeth really helped me realise there, that at my core I'm just so happy and joyful, and that is me, and the rest of it isn't my stuff, you know. And when I am in that space, just wonderful transformation happens. You know, like my parents were trying to offload on their problems that have been for a lifetime, and I sent my mum flowers and said I loved her and I was so proud of her because she was speaking her truth, and that's the transformation that I'm seeing as I sort of take these steps, which I have been doing for a long time. Things transform, and I've been shown these patterns that when I start to step out, and which I don't actually have a problem stepping out, you know, because I've evidenced it that I have done these things. I've stood up in front of a group full of men who were sleeping and weren't interested, but I still did it. And I've done these things, and it's important, I think, for us to recognise that. And I feel the trust thing is I do trust myself. I trust the divine energies. I trust that I'm provided for. So if other people aren't at that stage, it's finding that compassion, that, you know, the compassion to say, this is my truth. And I really think this is the leadership. We're not here to make it happen, we're here to let it happen. And that's the old paradigm. And, you know, it doesn't have to be hard, because when I just am in that space, like Elizabeth said, it just happens, and I love having fun. I love meeting people, and so there's not a problem. So it's just like yesterday, I was just feeling so heavy, and I was trying to do things that, and my back was like, oh, I wanna sit down, and the house was in chaos, but today I can now just regroup again, and I'll be stronger by the weekend. And when my husband comes home and able to say, listen to me, my body is telling me to stop. So yeah, that's and I think the group, for me, it's bringing forward this the wisdom that Barbara Hubbard and different I had something from Claire Zimmett, I think, this morning, and things just came through. And she said in her story she was sharing about she was in a leadership place. She was very successful, but she was falling into the trap of making it happen. And I just think there's something around that as a group of just exploring and sharing the wisdom that we've all found, because there's a lot of I don't think there is a model there. I think it's under creation, and the extreme self-care. I've got that book. I love Cheryl Richardson's work, and I really would value that, because I think I've got quite a lot of physical self-care to do, to look after myself in different levels. So, yes, so thank you so much for stepping out, Aline, and all who have supported you, because it's making a big difference to me.
Yes, thank you, Fiona. What I'm hearing is we all have the tools, and being in a resonant field, we are just reminded on how we can shift faster rather than getting lost in the old model of how to do things, that it should look a certain way, it will look different for each of us, and trusting our body and what we feel in the body is the key for each of us. That's a huge key. Thank you. So if Kadira is still watching, I will, yeah, that could be a first step, posting exercises from that book. I have not read that book, so definitely it could always be something that adds. If you have anybody has other suggestions, please, it's the time to step up and tell us. And I don't know if Ali or Liz, you want to say something. I know, Liz, it's your first time, so you might want to just be and listen in. That's fine too. But if you would like to say something, I would like to include you. So just unmute yourself if you would like to say something.
Okay.
Okay, so Elena and then Liz. Okay. Ali, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
It just so happens that these meetings are always around parenting time for me, so I'm always listening and driving. So now I'm listening and talking and driving. The ultimate multitasking.
This is the Australia talking.
Yeah, it is Australia. Well, it is Russia. It is Russia in Australia.
Okay.
So yeah. I just wanted to say that I am extremely grateful. It's unbelievable what a group Eileen has created. It's just absolutely out of control, amazing. And literally everything that all of you are sharing is just so much resonating. It's really interesting how when we all come together, we seem to really truly share the space. We totally resonate together, and we almost experience our lives and ourselves in a similar way. But the suggestion that I was going to make in terms of what we could do together going forward, I absolutely agree. I cannot agree more that everybody's path is very different. So as much as I personally am very, very grateful for everybody's contribution in terms of, links and exercises and types of practices and all that sort of stuff, I was going to make a suggestion. What if we could keep that group? Well, of course we're going to keep that group, but what I'm trying to say is, what if we could have this group as a space to contribute to each other energetically? So I'm not entirely sure how it can be shaped up, but like, for example, if one of us needs support, they could post something on Facebook, because it is a private group, so nobody's going to see it but us, but just call for the support, and we can share our energy with each other, just support each other energetically with whatever we're experiencing in the moment. I'm just kind of leaving it open for, you know, what's going to resonate with everyone, but exactly because we're all so different in the way we evolve, I find it extremely helpful when people are willing to be with me energetically. So I'm just opening this up as an invitation for everyone involved in this group, that I am totally willing to be this energy contribution should you need this. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for being involved. I have experienced quite a lot of changes in my life as well over the last 30 days, and yeah, definitely more voice, more confidence, more expansion, more change. So yeah, it feels amazing, absolutely amazing. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Eileen, for bringing us all together.
Thank you, Ali, for sharing that. And yes, I like that. I like that. You know, the space is going to stay. The group is going to stay for sure. And if you can all post in that group, so you know, it's everybody who is member of the group can post. So I might not be posting every day, but I will definitely check on the group every day and see if I have time. I respond, because the next little while is my focus has to shift to more practical matters. And yes, I love that. The other question I have: do you want to keep on talking once a week, or resume talking every 2 weeks? Just let me know. You know, we could also keep that time, because that time seems to work, or sometimes shift it in the evening. The evening is not always the best for me right now. But let me know, you know, and I think we have a chat possibility, and I know some people have been chatting. I haven't even opened my chat. There's 4 things in there. Let me just see what has been posted. You can also post in the chat, okay? If somebody wants to post in the chat what suggestions. Anyway, and I want to invite Liz to come in the room and talk to us now, and perhaps you tell us a little bit what you are up to, and what you're resonating with from what you have heard. You need to unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, just did. I hope you can all hear me well. And good morning from Finland once again. And thank you for letting me join the group and to be with you and share the space with you this morning. I echo with so much what you have been talking about here and sharing here. And I feel that there are not that much words left for me because I could pick something from each and every one of yours. And maybe I just sort of summarize the whole discussion so far for me. From Eileen's isolation, I think it was Viviane who talked about alienation, and then it was Bridget. Hi, Bridget. My life is a success, quote. And my tears keep on running after that sentence that you said, Bridget, because that's sort of where I am, doing my work, healing work, and all the necessary for decades. And what this group especially has given me is sort of a mirror where I have been able to reflect for the past inner work that I've been doing, and finding myself in a space and seeing it very clearly that I've come a long way, and I've done the right work, and I've done my healing, and yes, actually, my life is a success. And from that space, I'm now creating something new for young girls, something new for women, and bring all that to the audience, to be seen, to be experienced in a more evolved way. So that was a sort of a shortcut to everything I've been experiencing, not only, of course, during the past 30 days, but for a longer period of time. And what especially has been meaningful for me in this group was, even though I haven't been able to contribute as much as I wanted to, because I'm launching 2 different things at the same time, actually, is that probably for the first time I've been able to connect with a very healed collective group of women who have really done their homework, and like you did the centering exercise, you helped us go through the centering exercise in the beginning. I felt a huge group of women around me, sort of a very new collective level of women starting the new story, who are not anymore attached to the old story, to the distorted dream that we have been dreaming like sleeping beauties for thousands of years. So that was a huge experience also, and it's somehow linked, and I don't have the lyrics yet, to the one sentence that Bridget brought out, "My life is a success." So I think we are starting new kinds of stories, success stories, and successes in life. And I'm not talking about, business success, or I hope it comes along. It would be a nice change for I think many of us. But bringing that joy, bringing that to the audience, to the people we are surrounded, and living through that success, and see the ripple effect in people around us, in the environment around us, sort of bringing it to the collective level helps others. I know we are still going to walk, in the front line. So I know that many of us have done that. And it's not always that fun to be in the front line, being the pioneer. But this time, with the new story, we are the pioneers of joy. We are the pioneers of success. And that brings me such a huge joy, feeling of gratitude and joy. Finally finding a group of women where we can be the gallant, valiant women that we are meant to be. Also, the leaders leaders in joy, leaders in success, leaders in happiness. And with that, I think we can bring the most transformation that we all want to bring to this planet. My spirituality is very earth-based, and I like to keep it that way because that is the way I see the authentic or the original spirituality on this planet, and that is where I find most of my strength when I do my work. And as for the future of the group, actually I really loved the idea that Elena said here, that maybe it could be a platform for conversation. And there are exercises, and there are really good ones, and we all need that for our self-care, yes. And sharing those would be a really good idea too. But I would really like to continue with the conversation of the new story, the success stories, and the stories of joy and sharing, and the stories of I don't know what's the right word for it, not being anymore alienated or not living it anymore in the isolation, but bringing it all out there. And thank you for the conversation so far. I really have enjoyed this, and it has been really empowering first meeting with you all, and I would really love to continue also the Hangouts, and I'd say that maybe every 2 weeks is a nice rhythm, not being too much for anyone, and maybe meeting in every 2 weeks would be also really realistic and possible for each and every one of us when we are having our busy, joyful lives.
Yes.
Thank you very much so far, and just once again would love to share my gratitude for each and every one of you. Thank you.
Wow, Liz, thank you. You know, I mean, this has been such a, I mean, so moving what you have shared. You know, I have tears to my eyes what you shared with all of us. Thank you. And I hear you. You know, your spirituality is earth-based, mine too, definitely. You know, and I think part of what we women need to bring through is exactly that type of spirituality, which is connected to the larger field of life. You know. And that needs to come out in the new story, loud and clear, so that we can shift from the imprints that the old spiritual traditions have created, the pain imprint that are still in the field of many women because of the false beliefs that we got programmed into. Literally, you know, literally. So I would love, absolutely love, to continue the conversation, and we can say every 2 weeks. And if we feel that we would like to increase that rhythm to weekly again, we can say it, and we can change. You know, this is not fixed in stone. This is an evolving group. The other thing that I also hear you say is bringing out the new story, but also what I would like to add is collaborate in creating our new story of business life also, you know, business life, and bringing support to each other. And I have some ideas, you know, I mean, this is actually, my original ideas was, you know, well, let's create those relationships so we really know who we each are, and then can really support each other with our respective piece, because we each have a piece to bring to the puzzle, you know. Even though we are all healers and therapists and, you know, you name it, coaches, like we've done the work, and we have definitely been in the front line. I mean, we were the ones of us in the 60 plus, and there's a few of us in the 60 plus here, you know, have been in the trenches from the beginning, you know, where we were in the forerunners, and have made what is now possible for the younger ones. Seems to be easy, but it wasn't always easy. And yes, modeling that feminine leadership now with the new story, I love that, you know. So let's carry that forward, definitely. So just let me know quickly. You can all unmute yourself, because I know we've been talking for a little over an hour, and usually I like to keep it to the time, whether that would work with every 2 weeks, or would some of you want to have it every week? You know, I'm open for both. I can do both. Can all unmute ourselves. They might be a little bit noisy, but let's just try. And
let me.
Yes, Fiona?
Yeah, I couldn't unmute there. No, I think every 2 weeks would be fine to start off, and if we wanted, you know, to connect with each other perhaps as well, if that was something that we felt, because I did say Viv and I were going to connect, and so I'll just go with that, really. Yeah, so every 2 weeks is fine, and the ideas as well on the Facebook group. I think the structure isn't. It's just a beautiful free flowing. The idea about giving the healing to each other and connections. Yes, I think that's beautiful, and I think that's already happening in the group as well. So that was a good idea. Yeah.
Great. So
if we could keep it on the same day and the same time, perhaps, as today there were more women than I've ever seen, and I wasn't here during all these months that you had been, but perhaps finding one time that is good for everyone, that would work for everyone, keeping it at the same day of the week at the same time. Perhaps that might be helpful to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an idea. We can people from California. I think people from all over the world can join, but except the people in the Eastern time zone, I'm not really. It's not a good time for them. It's 2 in the morning, so it might be difficult, So that's why we had this whole alternative system at the beginning, where people sometimes we were doing it in the evening, and that's I could do some in the evening, and then we can catch people, and some people then might have more difficulty. The ones in the Far East, might have more difficulty with it. But let's. I'm going to send out an email and see what comes out from there. Post it in the group, and we'll see what emerges from. I can post the call in the group and the preferences. You can think about it. You don't have to decide everything right now. I have not been able to read all the things. There's a lot of things. I have not had time to read what was written there, because I was just holding the paper. Yes, so the other suggestions, the other thing that I wanted personally to say, if you are open to that, I would like to interview each of you and see what emerges. Again, I like to work with that model of allowing something to emerge rather than me knowing exactly what is going to emerge. Since this is my intention, really is perhaps to interview each of you on your story, and so we can map our healing story. That could be that's an idea that has been in the back of my mind. So if you are open, I will contact you individually, and we can do it either on a private hangout or an unlisted hangout, and then we'll see what emerges out of it. It doesn't have to be public, so that the place is safe for sharing anything that might transpire in that context. So just yes to being contacted. Different times may prove to include others. Different times. Okay. Just reading quickly. If there's anything I need to address, just tell me if there's anything I should address from what you have written, instead of me reading everything right now. Did somebody read the stuff? Because I haven't kept track of of the reading. I'll get lost in my head again if I do that. I know that. I know myself quite well. I know when I get lost in my head.
Elaine, in the reading, it's people are saying yes to 2 weeks, and Elizabeth suggests that maybe holding the call at a different time is better, so we can include more people. And yes to this, holding the space for each other.
Great.
To be and to to grow, to be and to grow, and to support each other in that process. So, yeah.
Thank you for coming through and telling me this. All right, so I really want to thank you for having come. This is the first time we are that many, and I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that we've been able to come together on that last of the 30-day challenge, but not the last of these calls for sure. And what seems to emerge for me is that I will create again a poll that we can vote on, and if some people want to join in at a time zone which right now it's not possible, then we'll alternate and we'll explore. You know, we'll see. I mean, I'm usually going with the majority poll anyway. You know, so the majority decides for a time. Then I will really expect you to be there. I'm gonna expect you. I mean, something can come up, but if I make the commitment, it's nice to have people come, you know, because I'm not going to have a conversation by myself. You know, I had this happen once or twice where I said, oh my God, nobody is showing up. What am I going to do? And then one shows up. So I was, you know, because. So thank you, ladies. And I'm going to stop the broadcast right now, but that means we can still be in the room if you are not want to leave right away, but the broadcast will be finished for now. So I want to include all the people who will be watching later on, those who could not participate live. And thank you for having helped co-create this space for the emerging new story of feminine leadership. Thank you, thank you, thank you.